Hey, gang, and welcome to yet another Seductive Poison, the Resurgence triple threat review show. The last I know what you shot on video seemed to be a success. Either that or people were curious to see what I would say about Black Devil Doll from Hell and Suffer Little Children. Uh, I'm hoping that I was entertaining enough to keep people's um, interest in it. But we'll see if we get, a fairly reasonable response from this edition of Seductive Poison, the Resurgence. But before I get to that, um, I did want to talk about one of the movies that I got in recently, which is Basket Case on 4K. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, exactly how good can Basket Case, a low budget film from 1981, I believe, directed by Frank Lauder, how good could it look? And I'm sorry, I've got spots on my glasses again. Um, how good could it possibly look in 4K? And a lot of people would probably choose to either stick with their DVD or their Blu-ray, perhaps. And that's understandable. People don't want to keep buying the same stuff over and over again. But I will say that upon rewatching it in 4K, this is the Arrow video release from the UK. I was, pretty surprised at how well it did look. I had been eagerly awaiting this release, and it had been out for a little bit. I think it'd been out since April, and I just totally forgot about it. And then I was like, looking around on Amazon and I saw it and I was like, hey, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it, right? So I'm not necessarily going to show stuff off tonight that comes with it, like a poster and stuff. But um, I did want to talk about the transfer, and I think the transfer is very, very good on this. Um, for an early 80s movie that was low budget anyway, I think that they made this thing look pretty damn good. So, yeah, would I recommend it? If you are a fan of Basket Case, like I am, I would definitely recommend it. And it's pretty reasonably priced on Amazon right now. Uh, they've got different versions, and I don't know if like one of the more expensive versions comes with more stuff, but this is listed, including on the back, that this is the limited edition. Okay. Um, so I think it pretty much has the same extras. There might be a couple of new things on here, but mostly the same extras that Arrow put on the Blu-ray release, which, pretty much the artwork, the slipcover looks the same. The inside artwork looks the same on the actual 4K. I'll show you this. You can flip it over, and in fact, I may do that. This is the original artwork for Basket Case. It says the tenant in room 7 is very small, very twisted, and very mad. And I always found something inherently creepy about this artwork as opposed to this newer artwork, which has a cool picture of Belial on it. I ain't, even gonna lie. But this is what I remember. This is what I remember on the VHS covers as well, way back when in my video rental days. And so I have a certain bit of nostalgia for that artwork, which is why I am going to switch my cover around um, to have the original artwork on there. So, with that being said, I'll go ahead and get to the movies at hand. But I don't want you to forget, guys and gals. I'm going to try to put these links in the description for this video. That I do have a Discord for Deadites on Deck right now. It is free to join, doesn't cost you a penny. You just have to click on the link. Hopefully, I'll remember to put that link in the description for this video. And accept the invite, create your account, and you're ready to start talking about movies and books and music and new releases and boutique labels and um, just the general chat where you can introduce yourself or you can just share, something. I know Victor shared an outing that he went out on in Michigan with his wife, and they saw Tom Sullivan, the special makeup effects guy for the Evil Dead. So I love that people are utilizing the Discord to share information like that because that was what my hope that this Discord would be. And, there haven't been any disturbances in the force, so to speak, on the Discord. Everybody has been kind and respectful to each other, which is something that I definitely want to continue. I don't want it to turn into a place where people go just to make fun of people or, just be mean and nasty. And I haven't seen that with all Discords. I don't want it to give anybody that impression, but I want to keep it clean, so to speak, on my Discord and make it a place where people can feel safe. They can feel like they're amongst friends. They can feel like they can share stuff without being ridiculed, um, and all that. So there's that. I do have a Patreon now as well that has 3 different tiers. I'm not going to go through all the tiers tonight. I won't bore you guys and gals with that, but I will try to remember to put the link to the Patreon as well. There are 3 tiers, a 5, a 10, and a $25 tier. With the $25 a month tier, you do get your choice of a free t-shirt, hat, or mouse pad with a design similar to this, only it will also have Deadites on Deck on there. So be sure to check that out. Victor actually joined the Patreon as well. So I was just really, really happy for the support. So, Victor, if you are watching this, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your stories in the Discord. I appreciate um, your reminiscences. Can't even talk tonight. About your Michigan trip, uh, where you and your wife went around and you did get to see Tom Sullivan. Um, I also want to throw a little love to Victor's wife, Angela, who purchased Victor a t shirt and a candle from my shop for his birthday, I believe. And I can say that now because Victor has received his gift. His wife wanted to surprise him, so I didn't say anything about it until he had actually received it and I'd heard him talk about it. So, the tremendous outpouring of support from not only Victor and his wife, but for everybody that has, you don't have to necessarily spend money um, to show your support. Just you can merely show support by coming into the live streams, watching the videos, and all of that. So don't think you just got to spend money in order to show support. There are many, many ways to show support. I did also want to talk about the sister channel and the new channel that Steve and I started. So the sister channel, Waiting on Woodstock, is something that Candace and I created. We haven't got any content on there yet, but the content is coming soon, folks. We're going to have our first video on there. It's going to be primarily pre recorded videos, but occasionally from time to time, we will do um, watch alongs and maybe a few other um, lives that are sprinkled around with the videos. But because I do several lives through the week with Deadites on Deck, I thought it better that most of the content that's put on Waiting on Woodstock would be pre recorded. Now, the channel that me and Steve started, we watch movies. About every 2 weeks, we will talk about the movies that we watched in those 2 weeks. So be sure to tune in to listen to us talk about the movies we watched for 2 weeks. And like I said, we'll try to put up a video um, every couple of weeks, or that is our plan right now. So, without further ado, let's get to these movies. So, I have 3 movies that I just picked off my shelf. I'm just going in alphabetical order on my shelf back there, my Blu ray and 4K shelf. And these were the next 3. We got Children of the Corn first. This again is an hour release. This is the 4K release for Children of the Corn. They did put out a Blu ray previously that looked very similar to this one. I don't think I need to go into deep detail about Children of the Corn. This came out in 1984 based on a Stephen King short story, I believe from Night Shift, the Night Shift collection. So basically, this is a killer kids movie. Kids in this small town are uh, a small town in Nebraska are led by this child preacher, Isaac, who instructs the kids to kill their parents and all the other adults in town one day. So when a couple shows up accidentally, they show up in this town, they get turned around on the back roads of Nebraska and end up in Gatlin, in the small town of Gatlin, where they find no adults except for just outside the town in a gas station. There is a mechanic and a guy that runs the gas station. But other than that, they don't see any other adults. And they find out why very quickly. Um, a lot of people don't like the Children of the Corn movie, mainly because of the portrayal of He Who Walks Behind the Rose, which is the ultimate entity that controls Isaac, Malachi, his cohort, and basically all the kids in this small town. Now, there is Job and Sarah, who they don't believe what Isaac and Malachi say, and they think that it's wrong that Isaac and Malachi basically instructed the kids to kill their parents. And that there's an older boy that also doesn't believe in that, and he tries to escape, and it doesn't end well for him. So Job and Sarah are basically stuck there um, when um, when the couple shows up. Uh, Bert and Vicky, played by Linda Hamilton and Pierre Horton. Um, and Linda Hamilton, of course, was in the Terminator. Peter Horton's been in several things, but 30 something, if you watch the show 30 something, anybody remember that? Peter Horton was also in that. I think they do great as the bickering couple who Vicky wants to get married. Bert does not. I think Bert just likes the freedom of, I don't think he wants to play the field. I just think he's scared of commitment and getting married. And I actually, as much as I liked the Stephen King story, I liked the way that Bert and Vicky were portrayed in the movie better than I did the short story. Because in the short story, I believe they were married and they were really being kind of nasty to one another. So I kind of like this better. This was a couple who they honestly cared about each other, but one of them wanted to get married, one of them was not interested in getting married, and that was causing a conflict. So they run afoul of these killer kids in the small town of Gatlin. Not a real bloody film or anything like that, but I find the creep factor very, very high in this film. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I like it so well. And this may shock people, and I know people get a little agitated with me kind of throwing these fours and fives around, or it seems like I throw the fours and fives around. But honestly, guys and gals, I have thought about these ratings beforehand. It's not just something I get on here and spit out. Um, so I'm going to give Children of the Corn 4 Deadites out of 5 because I think this is very close to the source material, for one thing. The creep factor, like I said, is very, very high in this. Although there's not a whole lot of bloodshed in this, it still works. And I think it works because of that creep factor. The feeling that you get when you come to a place and something just doesn't feel right. And there's something just out of reach, something just out of sight that is lurking. And you're not sure what it is, but something feels very wrong in the place that you've shown up at. Okay. So that's Shore of the Corn. Okay, so the next one is a little low budget, but very, very fun, in my opinion. Little film, not very long, at 76 minutes. This came out in 1986, and that is Chopping Mall, where shopping can cost you an arm and a leg, right? Um, I have always, always loved Chopping Mall because for a lot of reasons. Because I think the kill bots in this, the robots that are supposed to be mall security, and they go haywire because of a lightning storm and start killing people for real. Um, but I also love the cheesiness in here. You will see several people that you recognize, including Angus Scrim at the beginning of this. No, he's not playing the tall man, but he is in the group of people that are watching as the security robots are unveiled to the mall staff. Um, Dick Miller is also in here. Um, and this was directed and co-written by Jim Wynorski, who did a lot of these low budget, slightly cheesy but fun little films. We also have Barbara Crampton in this film, and Kelly Maroney as well. Um, I just really, really had a lot of fun with this film, and I have a lot of fun with this film every time I watch it. And if you want to see a chick scantily clad running through a mall with squibs being exploded all over her body. This is a movie to watch. I'm not kidding here. Um, Russell Todd's also in this from Friday the 13th Part 2. So you have a lot of recognizable people in this from other genre films. Garrett Graham is in here near the beginning. Um, so I don't know what's not to like about Chopping Mall, right? So again, people are going to say, "Oh, good God, Dana, really? You're really going to give it 4 deadites out of 5?" Well, yes, I am, because it's just too much fun. And sometimes I do give ratings based on the fun factor of a film, because that's a big part of it, right? If we don't enjoy the film, why would we give it higher ratings, right? So, that is Shopping Mall. And the last film I want to talk about tonight is also based on work of Stephen King, one of his novels. And this is 1983's Christine, directed by John Carpenter. And I've heard some grumblings about Christine over the years. And I really can't figure out why, because although this isn't a rock solid, faithful adaptation of Stephen King's work, I think what John Carpenter did with it is exceptional. Um, I think he condensed some things, or took away some things that may, while they have worked in the book, you know, um, probably wouldn't have worked back in 1983 in a film. I loved the scenes where the car shows that it is a force to be reckoned with, or the car is alive, right? So we have the scene where Arnie says to Christine, "Okay, show me." And the headlights come on, and the car literally fixes itself before Arnie's eyes. And Arnie, played by Keith Gordon, and expertly played by Keith Gordon in this, is your typical nerd at the beginning of this film. He and his jock best friend, Dennis Gilder, um, are played by John Stockwell, by the way. This also has Alexandra Paul in this, Robert Prosky, Harry Dean Stanton. A lot of recognizable names there. Um, but Arnie at the beginning of the film is somebody that needs to be protected by his best friend Dennis, who's a football player. Then you have the bullies, Buddy Repperton and his gang, who just are, they pick on poor Arnie unmercifully, right? And probably we get the feeling that Arnie would probably get swallowed up by not only Buddy Repperton and his gang, but the whole, student body as a whole. Because even though Arnie is smart and talented at working on cars and all that stuff, he just, as many people like Arnie do, they just don't fit in, right? They may fit in with one or two people, but other than that, they really don't fit in. They don't even fit in at home, as is seen by several scenes with Arnie and his parents. Um, but I always liked the Arnie character, and was sad when we see Arnie's personality change, when the car really starts to inhabit the body and mind and soul of Arnie Cunningham. And but it's scary too when those headlights come on and this car is chasing and running people down and crushing them against walls, and all of that. Again, this is not an extremely bloody film or anything like that, but it really works. And I think John Carpenter did an excellent, excellent job with this film. And that is why I'm going to give Christine 5 deadites out of 5. This is one I really remember from my youth. I have a lot of nostalgia for Christine, and I can watch it any time of the year. It doesn't have to be a certain time of the year or anything. Um, I mean, it's a good fall movie to watch because, Arnie and Dennis are going back to school, so we assume it's fall and all of that. But you can watch this in the middle of summer. You can watch it in the spring. You can watch it in the dead of winter. You can watch it in the fall around Halloween. Sometimes I like to watch it around Halloween as well. So I guess that's it from me. I've been on here total almost 30 minutes, but I want to thank everybody for checking this video out and seeing what old Dana was talking about. And be sure to tune in tomorrow where there will be a live Friday Foolish with me and Candace at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be talking again. It's going to be the continuing saga of our favorite horror masks, makeup, and characters. And also, there will be a pre recorded Terror Time Tea at some point on Friday. And I have not, oh, yes, I have. I was going to say, I have not picked out my movies yet, but for those of you watching this video, you will find out that I'm going to be talking about Reanimator, and I don't want to get myself in trouble here, and the Toolbox Murders. I don't think I would, but I was just trying to cover up some boobage there, so I don't possibly get in trouble. Um, Also, this weekend, we got a couple of watch-alongs coming up. Saturday's watch-along starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time will be Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. Sunday's watch-along, also starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, will be for John Landis's An American Werewolf in London. So, with all that being said, I'm off like a dirty shirt. But before I go, I want to remind everybody to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a great night, folks, and have a fantastic Friday and a kick ass weekend. I'll see you guys next time.